Hey, it's Killbite here. Got my 19 Mazda MX5 Miata and got the headlights on. It looks alright, but my fangs aren't showing. My daytime running lights aren't on when the headlights are on, and of course that's by design from Mazda. However, I want mine on. So MX5things sells a product that'll allow me to do that, and I'm going to install it. Alright, so we're in the car now. Well, you are, virtually. Step one, the door scuff plate. You want to pull up. Just kind of grab it. I start from the back, work my way up, and then on this side pull it slightly in and then up. Boom, it's out. Carefully set it over out of the way so you don't step on it and break it. Now we have this piece of rubbery trim. We're going to pull that out, and now there is one of these plastic pins. And I'm hoping you can see this. It has the inside piece that you want to pop out. Then you pull the whole thing out. Set it somewhere where you won't lose it. And that should allow you to pull this piece slightly forward and down, and it'll pop right out. Set it over somewhere safe where you won't scrape it up. Now, I will tell you, this is where the fun is going to be. And what you have to do is pull the carpet. Now there's one of those pins that have the screw type center in right here. But what you got to do is pull this somehow. You've got to work it under the clutch. Hopefully you can see that. Oh, all right. Now there is a piece of styrofoam right here blocking access to a nut that's on the bottom. And then there's another nut right here. And they are what's holding this metal plate. Now I'm going to loosen those up. I think I'm going to have to cut some on this. This is where we're at. I ended up making a cut with a hacksaw blade right there. You can see where it needs to be cut. And you can see right there is the top right one, and right through this hole is the bottom one. I didn't find either of them to be particularly tight. I mean, they were good snug, but they weren't like tight. I didn't have to crank on it or anything. I have this right here is a magnet on the end. What I'm going to be doing is sticking this back here in the hopes that the magnet will catch the bolt instead of it falling back behind everything. Could also do, I read some where people are putting tape on the inside of their socket to hold it, the nut on to the socket. That's another way to do it. So hopefully one of those will work for you. I don't know if you'll be able to see this very well, but I pulled the metal cover off and basically pull it to the right or the inside, depending on which side you're working on. There is a cable. The hood release is actually connected to the top corner of that metal plate. so I couldn't pull it off without removing that. And I say that, it's actually, you can't see right there. It actually, I hope that focused. There's a side, the side's open. So, there's the metal plate out of the way. Gotta love this awesome camera work. I know. What we gotta do is remove this one, top right. We're gonna remove that, we're gonna unplug it, and that's where the new harness is gonna plug into. Alright, I'm really hoping this camera is focusing. And I have plugged the module in. This is the module. This is what was plugged in at the top right. If you look at the module before you unplug the other one, well, of course, you'll see it's the same type of connection, and it's got a clip right here. So just push that in and then pull it out. And it took a little work, but I got it out. And now module's in. This will plug in to this end of the module, and then you'll want to push it to the left and try to secure it back there. Here is the module completely plugged in, and if you can follow it, it goes there on the left. It's kind of tucked behind. So now we just got to reverse everything that we did, which shouldn't be too hard. We'll start by putting the metal box back on, and be sure to clip that hood release. I ended up using the painter's tape in the socket to hold the nut on. Now I see why people were doing it. It's when you go to put it back in so you can have the nut secured while you slide it back in there, and then get it started without cross threading. So there you go. Painter's tape goes inside the socket, and then you push the nut into it to hold it. So the cover is back on. They're tight, not cross-threaded, not over tight, but not loose either. The cable, actually put the box on first and then put the cable into the little clip on it. That seems to straighten the cable up. Be sure to test, make sure that your hood will actually pop. So you know it's right. Now I will be taking I'm thinking duct tape and putting this little piece back in, just because that's how I am. But to be honest, it probably really isn't needed at all. And then we'll put the carpet, well, we need to test it. Let's test it first. Quick test. Headlights on. The fangs are showing. And here's with the bright lights on, fangs still showing. These, by the way, I bought the controlled lights, DRLs. That means they're at 50%. You can tell they're not as bright as the bright, for sure. And there you go. How many of you didn't believe I was going to actually tape it back on? Ha! See, I did. So something else I did find is that it was easier to deal with the carpet, especially putting it back, by pulling this one out. It's a thread Phillips, so you back it out with the Phillips screw. You can actually pull it all the way, and then you can pull this out. And putting it back in, it's the same, only the opposite. Next, you'll put the kick panel here. These line up, slide it in there, push it, it'll kind of pop. You then use the little plastic rivet thing, slide it in with the center pulled out, and then push the center in, and that's on. Put your rubber piece back in. Be sure to vacuum, clean up your mess. Now all we got to do is put the scuff plate on. Scuff plate, kind of line it up. I'm hoping that'll focus. There you go. It's back together. I think it still works. And there you go. Finished product. Not too bright to oncoming traffic. I think they look pretty good at half. That's my opinion. Thanks for watching, and if it found it helpful, please like, subscribe, comment, and Merry Christmas. Ho 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 ho.